Lions get their disruptor on defense on the interior.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's happening, everybody? Matt Derry with you. It is a Thursday edition of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today is Thursday, March 14th. Happy 314 day for all of you St. Louis people. Yesterday was 313 day for Detroit. Tomorrow's 315 day for everybody celebrating up in Syracuse. But anyway, regardless, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the program. Thanks for making us your first listen and checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. That includes on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. We got big news today. The Lions have gotten themselves a big-time defensive tackle. A guy that I'm going to explain to you coming up is a nice addition. Who can argue against this? But DJ Reader is here. We'll tell you about that coming up on the program. Also, Carlton Davis spoke to the media yesterday. Carlton Davis talks a big game. I hope he can back it up. We'll get into that coming up. Contract extensions for three massively important people in the Lions organization. Lions announced that today, which is very, very cool. We'll get into that. And also some bit players, an update on some guys leaving, some guys maybe staying. All of that today, right here on a Thursday edition of Locked On Lions. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. That is if you are looking for tickets. Follow us on Twitter at Derry Speaks, at Locked On Lions, Matt Derry Facebook fan page, on Threads at The Real Matt Derry, and also, as I said before, on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. All right, I am ecstatic today. The Lions, I've been saying this for a while. Look, the Lions have a good football team. We know that, all right? But one thing that they really, really lacked a year ago was somebody next to Aleem McNeil along the interior of that defensive line that can be a disruptor. That can stop the run, that is a big body, that can get to the quarterback, that other teams fear. You know, the Lions tried everything on the interior last year. Levi Onwuzurike, Broderick Martin, John Kaminsky, Josh Paschal, Quinton Bohanna. The guy they signed that was 37, 38 years old from the Steelers, whose name escapes me. They tried all sorts of different things, but really it was Aleem McNeil and then just a mediocre band of renown around him. All right. Now, Tyson Oluwalu, sorry. Anyway, now the Lions today, as we've been talking about the last couple of days, have been in pursuit of DJ Reader, former Houston Texan, the former Cincinnati Bengal. Today he was in town. Lions certainly threw him through a battery of different medical tests. He has torn his quad, not once, but twice in his career, including last year. But yet at age 29, still a lot of tread on the tires. And according to reports today, DJ Reader is now a Lion, 2 years, $27.5 million, with $9 million of that guaranteed. So you're paying DJ Reader about $13.5 million. Closer maybe even to, $14 million. I absolutely love it. I love this. This guy's legit. And here's the thing that I've known about DJ Reader. I'm buddies with Dan Horde, the play-by-play announcer for the Bengals, and I follow Cincinnati a little bit. Here's what I know. A couple of years ago, when the Bengals were ready to win, all right, really ready to take that next step, they felt like they had a good young core. Joe Burrow was coming up, Joe Mixon, they had T. Higgins and Chase and all these guys. The Bengals needed an anchor on defense. They needed somebody that could put a C on their chest, a veteran guy. They went out and they signed DJ Reader from the Texans for 4 years at $53 million. Immediately he was a captain, immediately stepped in and was a leader. Yes, he's got some injury concerns, all right, just like Carlton Davis. But when he's healthy, he just fits everything that the Lions are looking for. Team player, leader, captain, plugger, big dude, all right? DJ Reader is massive, all right? And just can fill up space, but also has that swim move to get around the center of the guard. Is a top 10 run defender from Pro Football Focus. I think he came in at number 10 this year in terms of run grade, and Aleem McNeil was number 5. So now you have 2 of the top 10 run defenders in the entire NFL, according to Pro Football Focus. This is a home run, and you're not breaking the bank. Eric Armstead just signed with Jacksonville today and got 3 years and $51 million. Right? You're getting Reader cheaper. Again, torn quad muscle. It's twice now that's happened. All right? He played in 10 games 2 years ago, had some injuries. Played in 14 of the 17 games this year and was hurt. So he missed 3 games, and then he missed 7 games the year before. So he's played in 24 of the 34 games over the last 2 years for Cincinnati. He's been to a Super Bowl. He helped the Bengals get to a Super Bowl. The Bengals. Now, they lost to the Rams, but still, Bengals made a Super Bowl. And DJ Reader is just a big body that now you put next to Aleem McNeil. That is an incredible 1-2 punch. Beloved in that locker room in Cincinnati. Bengals tried to keep him. Sounds like he took a better offer from the Lions and was looking for a change of scenery. And here we go. All right. So now you add Reader to the mix on this defense. That's precisely the kind of player that the Lions needed and were looking for and went out and got. So you got to give Brad Holmes some credit. He was patient, certainly. They wanted to check out the medicals. They wanted him to come in, which he did today. Flew in last night. They had him in today, and they didn't let him leave town without a contract. So he gets a 2-year reported $27.5 million deal to come to Detroit. I absolutely love this. Just love the leadership. I love that he wore the C. I love that he's coming from a winning organization in Cincinnati, albeit this past year was not as good, but he's a really good football player. And I've been talking about this for the last couple of years. They've got to put somebody next to Aleem McNeil that can disrupt things. All right. Minnesota just went out and added Aaron Jones. Green Bay just went out and added Josh Jacobs. The Bears went out and just added DeAndre Swift. Make them run off the edge now. Don't let them run up the middle. You got to deal with Reader and McNeil. That's a damn good 1-2 punch in the middle of that defensive line. And you know Brad Holmes is not done yet. He's going to add another piece. You know, Broderick Martin barely played last year. Maybe he has a really big second year now that he spent a year in the NFL. I don't know what the future holds for Levi Onwuzurike, right? Benito Jones today just signed with Miami. I haven't even mentioned his name in seems like months. But this is a really, really good move. And you're not breaking the bank. It's not crazy money. It's not crazy years. And Armstead just got let go by the 49ers and got 3 at 51. All right. So the Niners are paying him what? Almost 17 mil a year. You're getting Reader for, like I said, 13 and a half, 13.75 million. I love this move. Really good football player. I'm excited that he came to town and the Lions locked him up. I love that. Absolutely love it. So big move for the Lions today, getting DJ Reader. All right, the first guy, the first domino when this all started on Monday, of course, was the Lions trading for Carlton Davis. He spoke to the media, did Carlton Davis yesterday. And there's some things that certainly caught my attention as he's very confident in what he's doing out there. We'll tell you about that coming up next here on a Thursday edition of Locked On Lions. And we're brought to you today by our friends at the Game Time app. We told you, all right, you're looking for tickets, last-minute tickets. You shouldn't have to worry when you buy tickets to an event. That's because you got Game Time. It's the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. They got killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. All right, best thing about Game Time, I still say this, is that view from your seat option. You can go on there, see what section you're in, and then scroll left and right so you know exactly how things look before you buy the tickets, all right? Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. It's the place to find last-minute deals. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. I'm back again on a Thursday edition of Locked On Lions. If you missed yesterday's show, by the way, and we've gotten some great reviews, thanks to our everydayers that are out there on Twitter or YouTube or wherever that really liked Randy Mueller yesterday. He was awesome. Randy Mueller, the former GM of the Saints and Dolphins, now at theathletic.com, was absolutely spectacular. He was a great guest, a great get, and we appreciate our guy Sammy hooking us up with Randy Mueller. He was absolutely awesome. All right, Carlton Davis met the media yesterday. And look, I'm fine with Carlton Davis. Right? You're upgrading at cornerback. He's a solid player. All right. I didn't love the move. I don't love paying him $14 million. And I didn't love giving up a third round pick because I think Brad Holmes is drafted very well. But I'm fine with Carlton Davis. Lion fans, relax and don't get crazy with what I'm about to say. All right. I watched Carlton Davis's press conference on DetroitLions.com yesterday. First of all, he walks in there, and during the press conference, he had his sunglasses on. Really? Then, it wasn't outside. Then he says, quote, "You about to get a lockdown corner. You about to be able to have one side of the field just like unavailable. That's what I do. I'm here to take the number one receiver on any team. I'm here to take the ball away." End quote. The one side of the field is going to be unavailable. Okay. I think Carlton Davis is an upgrade. Don't get me wrong. He's going to be better than Jerry Jacobs and Kendall Vildor and anybody else the line. Will Harris. But lockdown corner? One side of the field is going to be unavailable? Really? Carlton Davis, who on his own defense with the Bucs last year was the 11th best player, according to PFF. Like, he wasn't even the best corner on the Bucs last year. Jamel Dean graded out at a 74.3. Carlton Davis was a 63.1. That includes the playoffs. He's a good football player, but walking in there with your shades on and say, "Oh yeah, the one side of the field is going to be unavailable." Like, who are you? Is this the Lions got the Detroit Dion now? Carlton Davis is fine. He's good. He's a good player, but my God, I mean, it's like Lester Hayes is walking in the building, or Hanford Dixon. Wow, did the Lions get Darrell Green or something? Am I missing something here? Is this Patrick Peterson in his prime? Jeez. Okay. Carlton Davis has never been to a Pro Bowl. He's never been an All-Pro. He struts in there with his shades on going, "Oh yeah, one side of the field is going to be unavailable." Okay, well, we'll see. I hope so. I just was a little taken aback by that. I love his confidence. But the last defensive back that was talking a lot of smack and pumping himself up was Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. How'd that turn out the last couple of games for the Lions? He was terrible. You know, I have no issue if those players want to talk. All right. And you got to back it up. I hope he does. But, you look at what the Lions have built with their culture. You look at what the Lions have built with players. You heard Graham Glasgow yesterday get on the podium and say, "Look, I told my agent, get this done before free agency even starts. Get it done before Monday at noon. I want to be here. I'm happy here." All right. All of these guys that have come to Detroit have all said the right things. And Carlton Davis even said, "You guys got a good defense. I'm going to be happy to be a part of it. I want to help you get to the Super Bowl," which I thought was a great line. All right. I'm not picking on the guy 100%, but I just have to say, I've heard of Carlton Davis. He's fine. All right. Antoine Winfield in Tampa is a better player. Jamel Dean is a better player. This guy walks in like he's a 4-time Pro Bowler. Wow. Okay. I'm a shutdown corner. We're going to find out. People that cover the Bucs have said this is a good football player, but he's confident. I will give him that. He's confident. So that's a good thing. Speaking of confidence, we know Brad Holmes is confident. All right. He said it at his press conference a few weeks ago or a few months ago. He had the receipts going, right? Today, the Lions did something they probably didn't even need to do, but I love that they did it anyway. Brad Holmes got a 2-year extension through 2027. Dan Campbell got a 1-year extension through 2027. And the team also announced that the special assistant to the CEO and president and owner, Chris Spielman, who has been fantastic for this franchise, also got a multi-year contract extension. So everybody is going to be here and stay here in Detroit. And I just got to say, bravo. All right. We are 3 years into the Campbell and Holmes regime. These guys have delivered. They have delivered in an immense way. All right. I can't remember a time, and I've been here since 1996, that a franchise has got the kind of backing, well, at least a football franchise has gotten this kind of backing from its fans, right? And these guys have come into town, said this is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to build it. All right. We've got Sheila's support. We got Rod's support. We got Disner. They put together a good front office with Ray Agnew and John Dorsey. They've all stayed. All right. They put together a good coaching staff. The coaches are staying. All right. That's a huge, huge credit to Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell and Chris Spielman. It just is. And today the Lions announced, and again, they didn't have to do this. Right? These guys' contracts weren't up. Dan Campbell's contract isn't up until after 2026. Brad Holmes wasn't up until after 2025. But yet, they got contract extensions today. 2 more years for Holmes, 1 more year for Campbell. They're going to be here for 2024, for 4 more years. 4 more years. All right, 4 more years at least. And Chris Spielman has just been the model of what you want a former player who loves his organization and just assists in every area, from throwing dirt on the field into divots, to helping linebackers, to helping Brad, to helping Dan. You don't hear much about Chris Spielman because he stays out of the way. He just wants to win and be a part of it and not do a bunch of interviews and not try to be a GM. Have we heard anything about Chris Spielman one day taking over for Brad? No. He is a Lion through and through. And he got extended today as well. And I just think it's awesome. Credit to Sheila Hamp. She is the best owner in this town for sports. It's not even close. Not even close. Who would have thought it? Who would have thunk it years ago? Oh, she's just, William Clay Ford's daughter. She's just Martha Firestone Ford's daughter. It's going to stay the same. The Fords must sell. Ford's got to sell. We've heard that for decades. But Sheila Hamp has stayed the course. She hired good people. She stays out of the way for the most part. It's not like Jerry Jones or Mark Cuban or any of these others. And they've won. They went from 3 wins to 9 to 12, plus 2, make it 14 this year, including the playoffs. I love it. And on a day where we're talking about free agency and players, for the Lions to come out this morning and announce contract extensions for 3 very vital folks in the franchise. You have to commend the team. You got to do it. What Dan Campbell has built and what he has done as coach deserves another year. Throw it on his contract. When he got 6 years, I really went, what are the Lions doing? How are you giving a guy that's been an interim coach once and no one else wanted 6 years? They knew something. They do something. They wanted continuity and consistency, and they also wanted to keep good people around. And that's exactly what they've done. And Brad Holmes as well. I mean, who can argue with what Brad Holmes has done? So he gets a 2-year extension, but everybody signed and everybody connected through 2027. So I love it. I think it's absolutely awesome and well-deserved for all of these folks, for sure, especially Brad and Dan and Chris, and everybody in that front office has done a whale of a job. So that was a really exciting announcement today here. And we wanted to give it some love for sure on Locked On Lions. All right, coming up next, There are some bit players that are coming and going when it comes to the Lions as they continue to fill out their roster, and they're not done yet. We know that. But big money, of course, DJ Reader getting around $14 million a year today. Lions still have some money to spend. We'll get into that coming up next right here on Locked On Lions. All right, folks, let's do this. Did you know that even if you have a 401k for retirement, you can still have an IRA? Robinhood is the only IRA that gives you a 3% boost on every dollar you contribute when you subscribe to Robinhood Gold. Get this, now through April 30th, Robinhood is even boosting every single dollar you transfer in from other retirement accounts with a 3% match. That's right, no cap on the 3% match. Robinhood Gold gets you the most for your retirement thanks to their IRA with a 3% match. This offer is good through April 30th. Get started at Robinhood.com/boost. Subscription fees apply. And now for some legal info. Claim as of Q1 2024, validated by Radius Global Market Research. Investing involves risk, including loss. Limitations apply to IRAs and 401ks. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold for 1 year from the date of first 3% match. Must keep Robinhood IRA for 5 years. A 3% matching on transfers is subject to specific terms and conditions. Robinhood IRA, available to U.S. customers in good standing. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, is a registered broker-dealer. All right, so I'm sure many of you are wondering, what is happening with Anthony Pittman? I know you woke up today, Lion fans, and you said to yourself, what happened to Anthony Pittman? Are we going to keep the backup linebacker, Anthony Pittman? Well, the answer is no. Here's the latest news on some of the bit players we've been talking about. Anthony Pittman, the backup linebacker and special teamer, has signed a 1-year deal reportedly with the Washington Commanders today. By the way, the Commanders today traded Sam Howell, their quarterback from last year, to the Seahawks. He's allegedly going to be competing with Geno Smith. Does that open up the door for Justin Fields in Washington? Or are the Commanders just going to draft Drake May or J.J. McCarthy or whatever at number 2? We'll see. Nobody wants Justin Fields. Oh, my God. Imagine the Bears now trying to trade Justin Fields. Nobody wants him. It's nuts. So Anthony Pittman, gone. What about Chase Lucas? According to Aaron Wilson, Chase Lucas is being courted by several teams, including the Lions, who would want to bring back their former 7th-round pick. Look, we talked about this the other day. Lions still need cornerbacks. They've got some good cornerback depth right now, but need more, right? I mean, Amik Robertson from the Raiders they got. We mentioned Carlton Davis today. Lions still have cornerback slots open. Could be the draft, could be anything else, but Chase Lucas, the Lions are still talking to. Benito Jones, gone. According to Diana Rossini from the athletic.com, he is going to sign a 1-year deal with the Miami Dolphins. So there you go. And then the Lions, of course, did have some interest in Eric Armstead, but they got DJ Reader now, so Armstead instead signs with Jacksonville, 3 years and $51 million. Lions made it official today with Marcus Davenport on his 1-year deal for $6.5 million. Couple things I find interesting. Number one, as of this recording right now, Josh Reynolds remains unsigned. You look at all the positions that the Lions have added players, bringing back a right guard in Graham Glasgow, adding some cornerback help, plural, the defensive line. What are the Lions going to do at wide receiver? How are they going to replace Reynolds if they don't bring Reynolds back? And there's a chance they bring Reynolds back. Could the Lions shock all of us, just like they did last year, and draft a wide receiver at 29? Nothing would surprise me with Brad Holmes. He's going to take the best available player at 29. Now, are they going to draft a running back at 29? No. Are they going to draft a quarterback at 29? Absolutely not. But if there's a receiver that they like at 29 and he's there, it wouldn't stun me. I figure the Lions are going to take an offensive lineman with their 1st-round pick, or do they trade back, even though the draft is in Detroit and many Lion fans that are going to be heading downtown on Thursday night and want to hear their name, the team name called? What if the Lions traded back and added some multiple picks in the second round? Also, I think not out of the realm of possibility. But you look up right now, and certainly there's a gaping hole at left guard. As of now, they do need another receiver and probably another edge rusher, right? But at least as of now, this is how the roster looks with more days to come. And again, Josh Reynolds remaining unsigned. You know, Jared Goff loves Josh Reynolds. We all love Josh Reynolds up until the NFC Championship game where that poor kid just had a bad night. Oh, my God. I don't need to rehash that. So keep an eye on that. And if there will be any movement when it comes to any other receivers, look, the Lions, Calvin Ridley signed elsewhere. The Lions aren't going to break the bank for another receiver. They've got Jameson Williams. They've got Khalif Raymond. They, of course, have Amon-Ra St. Brown, whom they need to re-sign. All right. Will they bring Donovan Peoples-Jones back? We'll see. Antoine Green, of course, they have the 7th round pick that they had last year. We'll see. But as of right now, that's the latest on some of the bit players with the Lions. We will do a Friday edition of Locked On Lions tomorrow. Thanks for making us your first listen. Checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. I do read the comments on YouTube. Thanks, everybody. Shout out to our everydayers that are out there. Appreciate all the love on yesterday's Randy Mueller interview. If you missed it from yesterday, the former NFL GM, now at theathletic.com, joined us yesterday. We will talk again tomorrow.